Hello out there, and welcome to the No Shit Cast. I'm your host, Matt Frazier. Woo, got a great in-studio guest, our first in-studio guest now in the new studio. Joining me here.
Looks beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Sitting in the pilot's seat. I think this is going to be a thing now. I kind of like this, right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome.
So you get to take us on the adventure tonight, man.
Cool,
so
cool. Let's do it.
So I'm real excited about having you be my first in-studio guest.
Thanks, man.
You were kind of here. You were one of the, I think you might have been my, obviously Eric, my co-host, but I think you also may have been one of my first 2 or 3 studio guests in the actual just audio studio.
You had a few people before me, but
But this is kind of neat, man. So
sweet. I love it.
You're a jiu-jitsu brother. That's kind of how we met. It was sweaty men wrestling on a mat.
That's how you get real close with somebody.
It is, really. It builds friendships. Like simulating murder on each other builds friendships like nothing else. It's kind of a weird thing, right?
It is. It's impossible for some people to understand, but yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. I will be. We were talking about that beforehand. I will be coming back, but I've been a little occupied with some other things.
It looks awesome. Like I said, this is a good thing to be occupied with besides jiu-jitsu. So
it's nice. It's therapeutic, man.
Awesome, man.
It's a hobby that's rapidly turning into something a little more than a hobby.
I know, right? Like I was shocked when we first started. When I first saw your studio setup, I was like, wow, it's really awesome. It's professional and you have some great mics and stuff like that. So
it's just good equipment, man, but that's real easy. I mean, that's attainable.
Of course.
The rest of it is...
You have to know how to use it too.
That's the problem.
You know how to use it, so it's good too.
It's nice when your co-host and one of your best friends is an audio engineer.
Yeah, Eric, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. So awesome. A lot of this is, I had a sort of built-in cheat system, especially with recording software and all this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great. It looks awesome.
That's what bringing Mr. Devlin, who's sitting in the engineering booth with us tonight. How you doing, Mr. Devlin?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
Bringing him on board with the audio video component because he's actually had like graphic arts training and stuff. So that's been a huge
awesome. Now you don't have to do it all on your own, man. That's a good thing too.
No, it's been great. I'm one of those people that I'm not really successful or smart or anything. What I'm really good at is finding people that are way better at shit than I am and then convincing them to do it for me.
Being in a band, when you're a singer in a band, you have to find musicians that are good and know what they're doing.
That's right. Yeah.
Very similar. Very similar.
Yeah, if it was just me, it wouldn't look anything like this. It wouldn't come off this way.
If I was just me in a band by myself, it definitely wouldn't sound like the bands I play in. It would sound like shit.
Right. So we've had some exciting stuff since the last time you were on that's been going down, man. So kind of catch us up. I mean, at the last time we were talking, you were just finishing up some work with a group, and now so that's sort of been put to bed, and and you came in and started working on some other projects here recently.
With you, yeah. So that's what most people don't know is we did the vocals for the latest Crystal Tears single, the Ghost Dance single, and you helped me engineer it, so it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah,
man.
dude, and that was one of the reasons why when I did your podcast, I was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing some audio work engineering? You're like, well, I've done it, and it sucks because most of the bands, didn't
stick together.
Yeah, it didn't work out for anybody. So
a whole lot of crazy out there, man.
Yeah, and I've dealt with that too. You know how it is. But it's cool. So yeah, getting to work with a friend is always better for me than to just do it alone. So I like that. So
yeah, it was great watching your process and seeing the business. Really, I mean the business aspect of the way you work. It was very. I was like, oh, holy shit! I thought because you gave stories.
You said it was fast or whatever.
Man, you were just like, I'm here to record lyrics, bitch. Let's do this. Like, okay, this is all great. Well, we're going to record it. And it was just bam, 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 bam.
That's the thing. We have it all worked out beforehand. So it's and
you know exactly what you're going to be doing.
And that makes it easier on you. You're doing it as a friend thing. I mean,
great.
Of course, we said we'd do a podcast about it, but you're still doing it, taking time out of your day to do it. So I mean, I'm going to come in prepared and get it done for you and get the hell out of your hair. That's it.
You got other shit to do anyway, right?
Well, I mean, I got other songs to write, and I got work and jiu-jitsu and stuff. But still, we're taking time out of our day to do it. So got to make sure it's professional for you too.
Yeah, but because I've never been really part of that process, and all I see is the VH1 behind the music kind of thing. So you sort of get that sensationalized ideal of the way that this stuff works. And it's, from everything I've seen, man, it's it's a professional process. Boom, 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 moving on. And you guys,
you want it to sound good. Yeah. I've just done it for a long time. I know what I'm doing, I guess, in that sense. I know how to record vocals. I've done it in every single possible scenario, where it was a home studio setup to the best studio in Sweden to, to someone's backyard shit,
It wasn't until, did you ever watch the Wrecking Crew documentary?
No.
Those are just the early like studio guys that and gals that put like all the music you've ever heard was actually recorded by the Beach Boys music. Was recorded by these studio musicians, and then the Beach Boys went out and did it on the road. But what went on the album was just their voices,
almost like Milli Vanilli style, like
sorta, like an early version. And this group of musicians was called they affectionately kind of called themselves the Wrecking Crew, and there was all kinds of famous solo acts that came out of it. But that was the first time I'd ever really seen and sort of the behind the scenes way that professionals.
Sure, things have changed a lot since then too. Because now you can just record on your own like this. And I just sent it to the engineer in Greece. Then he put it together with Chrisafis, the drummer, and he edited some of it too. He edited some of our stuff before we even sent it to the mixer guy. Yeah. So he put like some extra compressions and stuff like that on the vocals and
get it where he wanted it.
Yeah, and even changed up some of the phrasings even in some of those parts. And I mean, there was, I don't know if you remember, like in some of the verses, on the demos and stuff we did, there was no deep growls as part of just being alone. There was only just like one. It was just one continuous extreme vocal throughout the whole thing. And he changed some of that, and he took out some parts and added. So there's a little bit of studio magic still happens even in an
analog environment. There's other
extreme
things going on
music too, where you're just doing extreme vocals. You still have ideas with phrasings and stuff to change.
It's like I said, it was really a pleasure for me to be able to get to see the business end, if you will, of that process. And go, okay, I get this now. Like, these guys just don't fuck around. That's how this happens. This happens from work and diligence, and you have to be committed. And I was like, oh, all right. So it's just pretty much like anything else.
Well, there's some people who don't make it like that, man. There's some people who get lucky and they just, they've always just walked into a studio and just.
And that's just the way it works.
That was just their career path. Mine was just a little bit more, I don't know, underground from the beginning, having to learn from the ground up. And like I said, I did recordings in my closet,
Right.
In the beginning.
Well, I think in that, tell me if I'm wrong though, but sort of in this genre, if we can paint with that bigger brush, if you'll let me,
sure, of course.
There is a certain component to it that needs to have that struggle, that needs to have those pieces of it, where it becomes very much like I don't want to insult anybody, but more of like a working class sort of feel, like really get your hands dirty yourself, get into it yourself. And I can, like that was a big attraction for me personally with groups like Metallica, for instance, was the way they made their own first albums and they did all the mixing and mastering themselves. They knew what they wanted and they just made it themselves. Sure. Was it the most highly best polished produced album of all time? Not even close, man. But
everyone starts somewhere.
That's right.
That's the thing.
And it got what they were trying to. They figured out a way to beat everything into submission enough to get it to put out what they wanted to hear.
They did. They did what they wanted to do, and they.
There's an honesty to that, though, right? That's a way you connect. That's sort of necessary.
That's why I think they didn't need airplay and they didn't need videos and stuff in the 80s. Because if back when they first started, it was just word of mouth. People just loved the songs and. That's how I still kind of like it, too.
A little rawer, a little more, sort of hands-on, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, like with social media now. If you can be hands-on still, and you can kind of talk to people on the platforms and stuff, and still kind of be a little hands-on with people, whereas nowadays you have to be on the road to be really hands-on,
Yep.
And it's hard for bands to do that too.
And you can't be everywhere all the time, but these new tools give you that access.
If you want to be successful, you got to be everywhere at the same time.
We were talking about this a little bit before the show, right? I'm watching these the next generations of what's going to be social media platforms.
Yeah, TikTok and stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
I know, me too. As I was telling you, I hated the fact I had to get on MySpace back in the day.
Yeah.
I couldn't wrap my head around that.
Maybe there's some of these I can just skip. Hey, Devlin, is there like some of these we can just skip and go and wait for the next big thing, and not have to invest a bunch of time? And like, can we skip TikTok, or do we have to be there too? Do you think
we have to be there too until he develops the next big thing? That's the problem. And he can tell you, I got the next big thing, man. We can do it. Here.
Yeah. Look, he's being silent. He's like, no. I can't keep up, man. But it's big. But having said that, then here we are.
Sure.
Here you are able to connect with your fans in ways that was never even a possibility. Even like maybe 15 years ago. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's another thing too. I think is why like with Crystal Tears, we're doing a big tour in the Philippines in December.
Okay.
And we were like, people were asking, it's like, how the fuck are you guys playing the Philippines? And I'm and I think back in the day, bands like Metallica could play the Philippines. Big bands that sold millions of albums. Back in the '90s and stuff. Those were only the big bands that played. The Scorpions, Guns N' Roses. And now with the internet, people can find out who you are,
right.
And they can be like, "Hey, we want them to play here," and there's enough people that are into it, So
that's kind of an interesting. That's going to be fun, huh?
Yeah.
So but for you, going to other countries is nothing new, especially for performance sake, right? I mean,
yeah, I've been to a lot.
Yeah, you get around.
I've been around.
It gives you a perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, too much. Yeah, I think when I go, I have to go back to Japan to go to the Philippines, so I have to. Once again, go back to Japan, which is cool. I love Japan, so
I can't wait. See, this is what's funny. I was in the Navy, and but the places I've been, extremely limited, man.
Yeah, because that can happen, right? You can either go to one spot and just stay there the whole time, and then sometimes you get stuck and go to a whole bunch of different places.
I went around the United States a lot, but that was pretty much it. There was some deployments, but. It was like a bizarre thing, and I never got to go experience like Australia or Japan or any of these kinds of things. My first time of really going and being able to spend any time in a foreign country's culture was for my for an engineering gig. It wasn't for the military in any way. Okay. It's strange, yeah. So that's a lot of people think, "Oh, you were in the Navy." It's like, yeah, but I really didn't see much.
Well, I had similar experience. when we went to Japan the first time, we found out that we're not seeing it like a tourist. Because we're when we arrived there, there was someone to greet us with white gloves on. And put us in a nice car and took us straight to the hotel. And then we had a handler at the hotel that was with us that spoke English, and
it's so different, isn't it?
Trying not to let you get anywhere, don't let you screw up, and
make sure you everybody stay calm.
Don't get wasted and fall somewhere on the street somewhere.
Or make a scene.
Yeah. So we never got to really see it even as a tourist. So.
I have a buddy, an engineering buddy of mine that does a lot of international travel, and he was talking about just the difference between, because we stay in hotels.
Yeah.
So much we get you're in the whatever super duper
Superdome
customer
hotel
club. They give you these cards, right? And you get points and all this kind of crap. But when you're like in the platinum club in the U.S., when you get to I think it means you get like a cookie and a bottle of water.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, thanks for your patronage. But over in Europe, he said, when you show up, man, and you're like in these clubs, and you get to your room, there's like a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
There's like cheese and meat plates.
Just
like
depends on where you go.
It's like, but the perspective is so different.
Very different. Like when I went to Japan, again, the second time or whatever, they sent you flowers. Said, welcome, Mr. Hämäläinen, back to Japan, with flowers and stuff. So. Yeah, you don't expect that. Usually it's a metal show, you're expecting fucking,
like
Satan to pop out of the back.
Right. But no, it's just the way they treat all their customers.
The way they treat it. Well, yeah, they're very professional in Japan. They have a whole different way of looking.
That's why it's so important, man.
I got wasted with the guy in Obituary, in the backstage of the Saitama Super Arena, and I was doing sidekicks to beer cans into the side of the into the side of the wall, and this Japanese girl looked at me like I was a fucking asshole, and I was like, "Shit, we got to stop, guys."
Yeah, right. But we're not representing here.
We were laughing.
Right?
We thought it was funny,
but they don't.
They weren't full beer cans. They were empty.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really causing any damage. So we were like, "Oh shit, we gotta."
So
we can't be fucking 12, I guess. So.
No matter how much we want to be.
How much we want to be, dude.
We can't be 12.
Nope. So moments like that happen. Shit.
I know it's. I think that it's a process, man. That you have to live other places. than where you grew up.
I agree.
You need to, and it doesn't. Don't you feel like that?
1,000%.
Like rounds you as a person. Now, as an artist, I mean, how much has that influenced you? Do you think the traveling to other countries a lot and sort of working with so many, because you work with a lot of groups in that would be considered U.S. groups, right? At times, and then but you've worked with a lot of groups that are not that are strictly like European groups and this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it just does. I think the work ethic is different in Europe. Maybe
is it?
Yeah, they're more into it. You know, they want to, you know, tour and, you know, play. They're excited to go to other places.
Okay.
You know, whereas in America, it's just like, okay, we can just play here in America and that's it for a lot of American bands. But you know, not always the bands I was in. I'm just saying in general.
Oh, so but yeah, right. Because the market here is so much bigger per se.
It is, but then it's not, because you have to travel very long distances to get to some markets that are big,
right.
And then there's some that are suck, and you have to play in front of 10 people, and you know, then people want to leave and go home, and you know they don't get paid, and they fucking hate everybody. And
they don't understand that that's part of the grind.
Part of it, you know. And you just got to deal with it and just go. And if it's it happens.
It's a work. It's that 4-letter word again.
Work. Yeah.
So this is really cool with this Crystal Tears sort of thing. It's coming, not sort of thing. This Crystal Tears thing. It's coming together, right? I mean, this is
beers.
Exciting.
We have a beer too in the Philippines. It's out. We have a beer. We have our own beer.
You're kidding me.
That's one of the reasons why we're going, is because the Crystal Tears beer in the Philippines is like very popular. People there fucking drink the shit out of it.
So you have to go to the PI, man. You have to go to the Philippines.
We're going there to not only support the beer, but show people that, hey, it's a fucking band too, man. You know, it's not just a beer. So.
Well, okay, so is this a happenstance of marketing names or was this beer?
No, I think it was a guy who was a fan who made the beer.
And totally made the beer.
And it worked out. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
That's a hell of a way to get a band that you like.
Well, people do it all the time. Like, you know, they have like the Trooper beer for the Iron Maiden. You know, there's tons of bands. Every band's got a fucking beer now, man. Every band. But Metallica's got whiskey. They got beer. You know,
whiskey in the jarro.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why they made it. But they have like it's blackened whiskey.
Yeah, I think that all stuff.
You like whiskey? You might like it.
I do like.
Yeah,
whiskey,
you might like it. Check it out. I've never had it, or I just seen it. You know, they make it on their own. Like have their own distillery guy that does it.
We can thank Jimmy Buffett for all of that now, right?
I think so. Yeah, he made Land Shark, and then
it all started with and then now you've got everybody from Sammy Hagar, Cabo Wabo Tequila.
I think he did it first, right, with the Cabo Wabo.
Yeah, he was that was tequila, but
that was the first guy I saw in music to do
a liquor or something
alcohol,
like that.
Yeah.
Alcohol. Now you got people like what's his name from Dan Aykroyd has a vodka,
and I've tried that, and it's very good.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is very smooth. I mean, from what I remember, it was a gift.
Yeah.
I got it on someone tour gave. I think I can't remember.
Just check this out, right? Somehow,
so I got it as a gift somehow from something for music or something.
So, and you guys have a beer.
Yeah, I mean, and that was weird when I found that out. You know,
I'm sure
they told me that after I think I was even in the band. I think.
There's got to be restrictions on being able to ship things like alcohol internationally. So
no, there's not. I mean, I can bring you some. Don't worry, I'll bring you some.
Were you guys? So you have it.
They don't give a shit about that. They care about like food, you know, and like livestock and shit. They don't want you to bring in like.
So you just pay the duty or whatever it is
no,
on it.
You just fucking make sure it doesn't weigh too much. Just put it in your suitcase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you've had it though, is what I'm saying.
I have not had the beer. No,
not yet. Okay,
but I will there.
Yeah, that's what I want to find out. Is like,
it's supposed to be very good. I mean, it's popular there. Like they drink it. Like there's pictures of people that look like they should be in Gap ads, and they got the beer and they're smiling and shit. And it's funny. They don't know it's a metal band.
What would you be doing? I mean, from the standpoint of checking out martial arts and stuff while you're there, have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, we'll see if I can. I'll ask the promoter and stuff.
I mean, is there
I'm sure there is.
There's got to be.
Yeah, there is for sure.
But the Filipino martial arts themselves, anyway, is its own sort of thing as well, right?
Thing, yeah.
So that'd be kind of neat if there's a way you could get to check some of that out too while you're there.
I think I will for sure. I'll definitely get some sort of time off.
It'd be neat. Yeah, see, again, in the Navy, never went to the Philippines. Yeah. Like, everyone's like, you didn't? It's like, nope.
I know, it's weird, right? That's what everyone that I know that's been in the military, it's been like that for them.
Yeah.
It's either they had to stay in one spot or they stayed at home and they just fucking, that's it.
Like, it was just like a job.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I mean, it was a job.
I was in a band with 3
for.
guys from the Air Force back in the day in Arizona. And yeah, we played on bass. We practiced on bass. I had to fucking, I'd get a military ID to go practice and shit. And it's pretty crazy.
Like they give you a pass and stuff to go back and forth.
They were living on base and stuff in the beginning. And
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then they finally moved off base and we started to rehearse. It was called Slaves for Scores. They're from Arizona. Yeah, that's some good shit.
Yeah, can this kind of stuff be dug up on the
on the
interwebs?
Of course. Yeah. That was a great band, actually.
Yeah,
that band had some prospects. People were looking at us. We had some letters even from some labels and stuff, but we weren't at the time. It was very early 2000s, and at the time we were playing more melodic death metal style. We weren't playing metalcore or new metal or anything, and that's what everyone was buying up. And they actually, I remember a few people from some labels were like saying, hey, you're very good. Keep going. Don't stop. But we're not buying this right now.
Right now.
But you should still keep going. And of course we didn't.
It's kind of interesting, man, how...
yeah, but that was part of the problem was because three of the motherfuckers were in the military and they got their whole benefits and everything through it. So they couldn't, leave this job. They couldn't tour and go.
Right. Oh, that's true.
It's impossible. So
yeah, they have to show up for work.
And everything. But I still contact all those dudes. It's awesome.
That's wild. Did they stick it out and retire? Kind of? Did they go all the way with the?
Yeah, they went all the way. Yeah. One is in Philadelphia now. One's still in Arizona. And the other one, two are still in Arizona. One's in Philadelphia.
It's crazy, huh? But you had the capability where you were getting interest from labels and things with some guys that were in the military back in probably like the mid 90s or early 90s.
This was
even earlier than that.
When they started the military, or when they
when you were doing the stuff with them.
No, it was 2002-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just moved to Arizona, and I was just starting to get my feet wet there, knowing who was around and trying to. I was ready to just get out of college and say, fuck this, and just
go do something
and do music. And that's what I wanted to do. So
now that we talked about this a little bit, didn't we? So when did music? I don't think we ever did. When did music start for you?
We did.
Did we?
First, yeah, but it started for me when I was a kid. When I was like fucking 10, 11.
Okay.
That I heard Wasp and went crazy.
That's right. Yeah, and it was like someone rang your bell, man. It was like
my uncle Youngos. He was very into metal as a kid, and he's still stuck with it. Still is into metal, actually.
Yeah.
He's come to my shows since then and stuff and everything, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, he showed it to me, and it just blew my mind. So,
So how are things going with, I haven't been back to class in a long time. It looks like there's a significant amount of changes going on over there.
The 10th Planet Newark has moved to a new location.
Yeah.
In Hebron. But still 10th Planet Newark is still in the same area. So it's awesome. John Barrow's still kicking ass, and everybody there's it's getting bigger. It's just such a bigger
class
space.
Sizes are getting enormous.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So
the night classes especially.
Yeah, I'm stoked to go in every time because everybody there is getting really good. Like everybody who just trains there just keeps training and keeps getting better and better, and it's awesome.
Well, it finally happened to me. Somebody that I started with just got blue belt.
Yeah.
And I went, huh. Yep,
who was it?
Was it Ben?
Oh yeah.
I think he was ahead of me a little bit.
Yeah, but Ben puts in way more work than you, dog.
It's
Got to be honest about it. You know what I mean? He's there every class, man.
I know,
and that's why he got it. That quick, and he
competes, and he's an animal, man. I get it.
He's won medals for the school, and
it's like, man, I can't keep up. There's no way.
You just got to keep going.
I'm just setting my trajectory is just much longer. I think is sort of what I'm.
I think it's just about how addicted to it you become.
Absolutely,
that's it. And I've always just been addicted. I go 2-3 times a week. You know, if I can't, sometimes I can't have to work. It sucks.
I've had aspirations of that for sure. But the reality of it just hasn't really manifested. And I'll be fully honest, it's a motivation thing, man.
Well, just as long as you keep in your mind that it's not going to, your age and everything isn't going to change anything. Just come back when you have the time and just come back and just start listening. And it's going to suck because you're going to get your ass beat.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I want
to be ready for that.
Because we had this big move and everything. So I had already been through the whole getting sore. I was over the hill past that again, and I was like, now I need to go back because now it won't be quite so bad, right? Yeah. And then fucking life happens, and then it's like, now I'm gonna be freaking sore again. Like I know it's coming, it's gonna hurt.
Well, I hope you come back and we can do it again, man. Roll some more because I think you'll be excited about the space.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I really am.
Bring the kid.
Yeah, I'll be dragging it.
Check it out, dude.
I do have my own person I can come and strangle, that. So I always have somebody to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he gets addicted to it, then you have to go.
Well, I'm sure he would enjoy it strictly from the standpoint of being able to strangle the shit out of his
That's
old
what
man.
You'll get addicted to it, and then he'll be upstairs, and you'll be hanging out, and you'll be like, "Hey, let's drill a little bit," and then you'll get better, and he'll get better, and then he can choke you out, and like that too.
Break furniture. My wife will throw us out of the house. It can be fun.
My wife and I, we used to when we lived in Brooklyn, we used to roll on the fucking hardwood floor. And
I think I saw a picture of you at Christmas choking the shit out of him somewhere too, right? Yeah.
I was at a Christmas party.
Yeah.
Tara's Christmas party.
It was like happy holidays.
Yeah, she's always having fun over there.
Yeah.
Give her a couple drinks, dude. The Russian comes out.
That's right. She gets mean. We still love you.
Still love you, buddy.
So, okay, so back to the whole point of this, I think, before we went down the wormhole, was to talk about, the stuff that you've got, some of the stuff you've got coming up that have been happening and these kinds of things. It was an update, and we just went on a 25-minute bullshit session of some sort. But anyway, okay, so Crystal Tears, that's happening.
Yep.
So what are is there any details on, like, what's coming from that and when that's going to be coming out?
We're working on an album. We're going to make it hopefully after the new year. So we're still compiling songs for it. I've even written some music for it, so it's pretty cool. I've given the guys some songs, and Chrisafis is sifting through some of the shit, making sure it works for the band, and he can also write some, because that's the thing, is like if you want to collaborate like that with new ideas or whatever from someone brand new coming in, you have to kind of make sure it works with this current sound and what we're doing. So some of it works, and it's pretty nice. And then they've got a few more songs that we're writing, some covers too. We've decided on some covers that we're going to mess with.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so we're going to do either put them out as bonus tracks or whatever, but we're not sure exactly what format we'll put them in.
What's the nexus of this group? Like, how did it come together? Or what's the history of it? Maybe is a better question.
I think Chrisafis started it in '97, around 1997.
Because it's got a following.
Already, right?
Yeah,
they've been around for a long time, since 1997. And the first album I think came out in '99, and they had a female vocalist then.
Okay,
so that's kind of cool. And then they had a male vocalist, and it's always been kind of traditional heavy metal. Started even from the beginning, and it was sort of playing like melodic heavy metal, and then now they've kind of gone into more of a death metal.
Okay.
Melodic death metal again, like this kind of stuff we've talked about.
So artistically it's evolved. It's that type of group that it kind of evolves.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the first album, it's got a girl on it. She's the singer, and then the next album has another guy, and then they have a couple of albums with the same singer. The last guy was from Denmark.
Okay.
So they just keep picking up Scandinavian singers.
There's a thing here.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme. They must feel good about it. Huh?
Yeah, well, it works. I mean, it's funny because this is the second band from Thessaloniki, Greece I'm been in, because the band Night Rage I was in before, the main guitarist, he's from the same town. Okay. Even though the band was based in Sweden.
Oh, is there a cross-pollination thing then that goes on here with people just being familiar with each other?
I think that is why, but that is why. I mean, because we played there in Thessaloniki, and Chrisafis and Kostas were there at the shows, and they saw us, and we hung out, and we knew each other, and So
this is the thing, though, with the Scandinavian, or with these, I probably shouldn't classify it that way, with like the death metal bands, is the way that they interact with each other from what you've been telling me on projects. It's like everybody's just collaborating a lot. There's
in certain genres. It just depends on the genre of
within the genre. I was almost
there's a bunch of different musicians that always kind of and then I like to be the one that goes out though.
And it's like when it's this group, it's this, and when it's this group, it's that. And
well, I'd say Crystal Tears was probably more inspired by Night Rage because Marios, the main guy, the main man of Night Rage, he was been in a band called Exhumation from Thessaloniki, and they were the first real death metal band from that area of Greece. The only other bands was like Rotting Christ. They're from Athens, and those are the only fucking bands that were metal in Greece. So he kind of comes from a pretty legendary status,
like a lineage sort of.
Lineage there. So they're very familiar with him, and then keep in touch with Night Rage and stuff. So that was the kind of the pull there.
I guess I get it though, because there's probably because of the community of people that can perform at this precise, insane level that these guys and gals, I shouldn't be too specific there. There isn't a whole lot of people that can do this stuff at this level anyway. So it kind of makes sense that they sort of kind of have to get real used to sort of sharing assets periodically.
This happens,
yeah. It's just part of the nature of it.
I think, but for me, joining them though, I think it was also for them. They wanted to change a little bit of the style and try to go a little heavier, and because they could have gotten another clean vocalist to just do the same kind of traditional power metal, heavy metal stuff, and but we will still do those songs, and I'll sing them differently in some spots, and then some spots I won't. It's pretty cool.
Because you are a full vocalist. You have you can do full
But I've been given
vocals.
some freedom, so there's some ranges and stuff like that that's different than the old singer. And I'm kind of doing them differently. Some parts we're kind of keeping them like the new songs, and we're changing it into the death metal part.
Yeah.
So some of the old songs will have death metal in it now.
Yeah, and in these cases, it's a tribute to the original work anyway. Probably for you in that position, right?
Well, I mean, the songs, people love them. You know, I mean, like they have a great cover of "Beds Are Burning" by Midnight Oil,
right?
And that's
classic.
Yeah, if people haven't heard that, go listen to that song. It's fucking awesome. I was so proud of them when they put that out, because it was like, wow, these guys have finally made like an even bigger leap than what they were doing before. You know, they were kind of coming up before, but this was like boom. So it's cool to be joining that kind of stuff and
getting in jumping into that kind of energy too.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing for me too, and just in the sense of like performing it live, because I've never been in a full-time band that has this kind of dynamic vocally.
Yeah,
it's got clean vocals. A lot of it sounds like Judas Priest, Rob Halford kind of stuff.
How do you put that on stage at night, right? Because they're pretty. That's an extreme.
It's going to be both. It's going to be like what you're used to, like what I recorded here with Ghost Dance, like that style of vocals mixed with that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
Woo, Bubba.
But I can do it, man. It's like weird. Like that's shit for some reason.
You're able.
I can, dude. I just do a good Rob Halford impression. Okay. And I do a good Jorn Lundey impression. This guy from Norway that I like a lot. But I'm not saying in any way that I can sing like those guys. I just do good impression of them, and I can hit some of the notes pretty good. So their old songs are saved in that sense, so they don't lose that. You know, right. In the process of getting somebody so new, you know.
That's crazy. I mean, a vocal coach, I think, would probably tell you, you're going to do what? Like,
fuck him. So, because I've had other people, like I had the chick from Nightwish, the newest singer for Nightwish, Flora Jensen. She's cool as fuck. And she was asking me, she was like, all right, how do you do it? How do you fucking scream, man? Come on. Because she's,
like what? Like,
festival
like what's a technique or what's the?
Yeah, and I said, honey, there's no technique. You're just gonna have to fucking get in there and blow your voice out and get that motherfucker used to it. You know, you have to get your throat used to screaming. And she was like, no, I can't do that. She's like, I can't risk it. And I'm like, well, then you fucking won't scream.
Then that's it, right?
There's plenty of bullshit out there of DVDs and all this stuff like that. I don't believe in that.
No.
Just have nice green tea and honey, you know, that's all works for me if my throat's fucked up, and then I can usually get through it. And
like that's your version of like stretching and warming up.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you know, and that's the thing. Also, you know, having a room that's not like, you know, in the middle of, you know, it's not dry. You know what I mean? You want a nice room that's got some ventilation that you can breathe in, and you know.
It was funny. That was there was a. I think
like your room was great, and this room's great too. It's perfect. You know what I mean? It's dead, but it's got. We can breathe in here.
There were considerations put into the layout and design of this room that were specifically thought about because of you personally.
Because I yelled since I was screaming so loud?
Well, because you set the benchmark, man. You sort of said it's going to have to at least be able to do this. And I was like, okay, now I know where I sort of have to start designing from.
That's cool, man. Because then, I mean, you have a pretty soundproof spot then. You know? No neighbors will hear it for sure.
Yeah, brick.
If we ever decide to do another recording again, maybe one day we'll have a nice spot here.
Not only can we record here, but in a tornado we can hide here. So it's like a double purpose thing, right? End of the world, kind of apocalyptic place we could hide. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like I said, it's the best place to be with your friends, man. That's why I hate recording by myself, dude, because you don't have anyone to talk to. It's fucking, it's boring, you know.
But I think there was what I was going to say, I digress, was that I can remember like this, I think it was Arnold Palmer.
Arnie Palmy?
Yeah, the drink. The golfer that
good with vodka.
Never took a practice swing. He just teed the ball up, walked up, and bam, hit it. And people asked him why. I think it was Arnold Palmer, or it was a famous golfer nonetheless. Why don't you ever take practice swings? Because they're just wasted swings, right?
Cliff Burton never warmed up playing bass.
Yeah, and
he actually would play acoustic guitar all day, and then he would put his bass on like right before the show, and then fucking play it.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
If you hear that guy play bass, it's like you think that dude would be sitting with a bass all day.
Right.
And he wasn't. He was sitting with an acoustic guitar.
That's nuts.
Fucking crazy.
And you and that was one of the things about you is like when you came in, it was like you come in, took your lyric sheet out, got ready, mics work, yep, okay, record. And then boom, off we went. There was
I got time for anything.
There was no like me, none of this voice stuff.
I did that on the way to you.
Is that what in the car?
Car. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're just so you do some prep.
Yeah,
sort of
for the studio for sure. Usually try to, unless like again, like I said, if I'm in an environment where it's just for fun and we're having a I mean, I've done that. I've done like just bullshit, like I've told you, bullshit recordings that never come out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can tell they're not going to fucking come out, so I don't fucking put too much work into it.
Okay.
Yeah. But for everything that you and I have recorded together, there's always been some preparation. And I will do that even before a concert. I will prepare with usually the backing track. Not backing track. Fuck. I'll prepare with the intro track.
Okay.
If we have backing tracks, usually like keyboards.
Yeah.
Shit. Some vocals, very, very few, but mostly keyboards. But I'll do it with the intro track. When it's playing, I'll sing whatever melody is the intro track.
Okay.
And then that warms me up enough.
So you do warm. Okay. Yeah, that was when I And
then green tea and honey afterwards, and a beer.
And a beer.
And hopefully fucking Jägermeister. They have this one shot of that's how old I am. Just like I'm a one beer Jägermeister guy.
And then you're done.
And then I'm dead.
Like it's it.
I can't do it no more after that. I'm fucking so old. I get tired. So, but after that's actually a great concoction with all that.
I've heard of honey and whiskey too for vocalists.
No way.
Does that work?
Fucking, it'll kill me. I hate whiskey.
Oh yeah, you don't like whiskey. You like it. Well, yeah. Jägermeister.
But that's for shot. Whiskey, and it's really good for my throat. I like the coating.
Yeah.
And the alcohol kind of numbs the vocal cords, so it gives it a nice little after coating, and then you kind of be quiet for the night and
let everything recover.
Yeah, breathe very well. Try to breathe as best you can, and then
get a lot of sleep.
Wake up the next day and start pounding more fucking green tea and taking spoonfuls of honey with it, and that's the remedy. And then I can get through 1,000 fucking shows.
Now, does your schedule as you're moving through stops on your concert when you're doing concerts and stuff? Do you have like a routine where it's like, okay, when I get up in the morning, I'm not going to be talking much.
That depends entirely on the tour, my friend. If I got a bus or if I'm in a van or if I'm fucking in hotels, traveling by a van.
Okay.
Usually that depends, yeah. Yeah, but when it's a bus, it's the shit. That's when it's the best, when you have a tour bus.
Because you can just...
Yeah, you can just have your own bed. You can go to bed when you want. You don't have to fucking deal with anybody. You can just go watch a movie in your bed with your fucking device, whatever you got, and you can just chill out. That's the best. Or you can go into the back lounge and chill out, or you can go in the front lounge.
So there's nothing you specifically do as part of your routine then for voice preservation or
there is
like
just waking up in the morning and doing green tea and coffee.
Okay.
And then not talking so much, not talking too loud, not being too crazy.
Yeah.
Because that used to happen when I was younger. We would fucking just scream all day and just yell shit.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, a night
having
rage,
fun together.
Night Rage, dude. When I remember the fucking first festival we played in Night Rage. We had to get on a ferry boat from Sweden to Denmark, and it was at 9 a.m. And I was the only one because I was jet lagged because I was living in America.
Right.
So I was way awake and just like been up forever. And I grabbed a fucking huge tall beer, and everybody looked at me like I was nuts. Like everybody was having breakfast, and
it was the end of your day, right?
It was it was like the beginning of the evening for me. And I was like, Jesus, man, I can't take this anymore. Everybody thought I was like gonna like lose it or whatever. But then I had like a long nap and then woke up and it was fucking great.
Everything was fine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this not having to fly back and forth thing to record has got to be a godsend.
That helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. You can just be like, here's the file.
Yeah.
Download it.
The only negative is that, the production value, because these guys, especially if you're someone like in Crystal Tears, Chrisafis has a vision. And, when I came to your studio with that song, like we went through 5 versions of that.
Already
before you even heard it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I did lyrics for the whole thing and then sent it to him, and then he took out parts that he didn't think were that great, and then he came up with parts and sent it to me, and I redid it, and then we came up with more parts and different stuff and sent it back, and then again and again. And if you do it like that and you're consistent, you'll come up with something like we got, and everybody fucking likes it.
Yeah. So it's a whittling process. You sort of, it's not like lightning in a bottle as much as it is just kind of going through and taking a piece of clay.
It's just got that happen. Lightning in a bottle happens when you're in a rehearsal space.
where you're together,
and then you can write the album, which is fucking impossible if you don't have, unless you're fucking Metallica or Seven Dust or I don't fucking know. Some band that's really rich.
Yeah, that can just do that, like sequester someplace.
Yeah, or in our genre, maybe someone like, I don't know, Children of Bodom, Soilwork, whatever, something like that. These guys, they can rent out some nice spaces and rehearse as a band if they want, or they can write it all on their own and then come to the rehearsal space and show everyone, hey, let's work on that one riff that you sent. It was great. I have some ideas for that.
So you feel that then there's a definite disconnect. There is something that does get lost, even though with all the collaborative tools we have today, that there's something that gets lost from not being able to get everybody together.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Because that's why Slaves for Scores was good from Arizona. That's why that band was good, is because we were in a rehearsal space, and this whole thing was very shitty at this point. It was Adobe Audition times. Do you remember Adobe Audition?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
Of course you have. You've heard of it, but you've never used it.
Yeah.
I fucking used it, and I used it with a 16-track digital recorder. That we recorded all the drums on the 16 tracks. There's 16 tracks of drums, and then we took this and uploaded it to the
software,
yeah. And then we would pull the guitars from the software and then put it in a CD and put it in the digital recorder and then use that for one track. After you'd mix the drums, get it the way it sounded when you wanted it, then we had that all on one track, and then you had 15 more.
All right, mix down, right?
Down, and we should do shit like this.
Yeah.
And that sounds so primitive to people now.
Right, because I can just stack up 128 tracks or whatever.
I used to do this,
then
you want to go back for more? I used to do this with tapes. We would take a tape and we would play the drums on it and record that and a boombox, and then take another tape and then record the guitars and play the drums from the tape. Another boombox, hit record, the drums are playing on this one, and then the guy plays guitar. And then this shithole tape gets that fucked up feed, and that's the drums, and then you do it again for the fucking bass and the vocals. And then at the end, you have a muddy piece of garbage.
That kind of sounds like you mixed something together.
Yeah, that sounds like you fucking played with fucking paint cans as the drums and shit. Doesn't even sound right. And it doesn't sound
It
good.
Would work exactly as you're saying, for sure. Yeah.
Fucking done it, my friend.
That's nuts.
I've done it.
But it would come out sounding like a muddy...
What it came out like.
All the natural compression.
I've got it somewhere in Arizona. It's in my mom's fucking garage.
You got the tape.
I got the tape.
Cassette tape, huh?
I do. Man, it was all grindcore shit. It was just fucking blast beats and just fucking bullshit.
And singing into a Radio Shack realistic mic.
No, it was a Shure microphone.
Was it?
Yeah, actually, I forget whose it was, but somebody's dad had him. Fucking PA, and we just used that.
So you got a decent mic.
Kinda. I mean, the mic, like, we had to turn it down real low because it was blowing off you had to record it through a fucking boombox.
Right.
It was blowing the boombox out.
It was too much.
Right. Man, yeah, it was too much. So it sounded like shit. So I've done it all, man, with that. But the best way to do it is to sit down, come up with riffs on your own, present them to people, everyone listens to it, get into a room and talk about all those riffs you came up with, and not let one idea go away without playing with it a little bit. And then you never know, someone else could come up with something and then it becomes a thing. And that's how you get a fucking Inner Sandman. That's how you get,
that's lightning in a bottle, but you're saying
that's Kirk Hammett wrote that riff, and he fucking wrote it sitting on his ass just fucking around. And then they took it, and James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich know how to write a fucking song. Yeah. And they took it and made it a song. And that's how it's done. And they just had the time to sit there and do that all day.
Right.
And not have another job and not have anything else to do.
Sit and talk and then try mess around a little bit.
And that's what makes everybody not do it, is because when they get home at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, they're like, fuck, I just want to sit on YouTube and just watch videos and not do anything.
Yeah, because I've been doing this all day.
I've been doing other shit all day, man, and I don't want to fucking do it. Yeah. Oh God, I have to do that. I don't want to do it, and then that's what it becomes, and it's not something you're interested in. So you won't tour the world if you do that. You won't. You won't make it.
Man, to get the group dynamic together, getting people that are so committed to that sense of purpose, where they can lock themselves away and sort of put all the other distractions aside and say, "This has to be here." Like, we have to have. That's people have lives, they have families, they have other commitments.
I don't give a fuck.
It's a wonder this shit happens at all.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Tired of it.
Yeah.
Don't come here then. Don't fucking play. Right. I don't want to play with you then. Go away. Get the fuck away from me.
Put up or shut up.
Get the fuck away from me. The fuck away from me.
A little cynicism in age and experience,
Get
isn't
the fuck
there?
away from me.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I've dealt with I've heard every piece of bullshit there is.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I know what it takes. I've watched it from my 20s. I watched friends of mine go from struggling and wanting to break up every week to fucking making it because they just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And they just liked hanging out together, and they were a gang, and they liked chilling with each other, and they made each other laugh. And that's why these guys asked me to do the band, is because throughout all the years, actually I haven't seen those. The last time I've seen them has been a while. I haven't seen them in years. You know what I mean? And it's because like I haven't been touring over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they still remember me, and we still hang out and talk online all the time. So they're like, fucking Antony, man. You know what I mean? He's always doing it. He's always playing. He's always got some band going. So that's how you get it, if you keep doing it. If you just don't, you just sit around, you won't.
Well, 90% of success is being there, right? Showing up.
You should come to jiu-jitsu.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it's not my fault.
I'm just fucking with you.
I own that bitch 100%.
Just
I'm telling you.
You know I'm fucking with
It's
you.
because I'm a lazy fat fuck and can't motivate myself.
You're not fat. You're in good. You're in good shape for your age, man. You're in great shape.
I've been keeping
Every time
the
I
weight
roll
off.
with you, I've had to struggle to get you, but I get you, and it's just because I do it more.
Yeah,
Same thing with same thing with music. I just do it more. You know what I mean? That's all. Everything's like that. Every fucking dumb thing's like that.
This has become more my obsession here recently,
and that's
too.
what's up.
And you're right. You just keep and now it's weird.
As long as you know that, and when you go to this jiu-jitsu school and you get your face smashed in, you
understand
because I haven't
why.
been here because I love my other shit. Cool.
That's right.
Then you're good. It's all good.
And I'm expecting to get my ass.
Or if you're in a band and you just want to fucking play local shows, okay,
be honest about that.
Cool.
Yeah,
we can do that. You know what I mean? You can do that. It's cool, man. I just don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah, that's not your scene.
Don't make me do it.
Yeah.
I'll play a local show here when I tour through here.
Yeah.
There you go.
On your way through, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, and
that'd be fun.
I've done it. I've done it. Unfortunately, I've always had to pass through Columbus, and I've always gone to Cleveland. So nobody wants to drive up there because you have nowhere to stay, and it's fucking 3 hours, and it's hard. And
yeah.
I've had like Joey and my other guys from other bands I've been in and stuff like that. Joey Concepcion's come through a bunch of times. Like, just too fucking far, man. I don't have anywhere to stay. You know what I mean? It's fucking. I have to hit up my boys and shit and be like, hey, I'm gonna fucking crash on your couch. I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So either you come through my town or we don't do it. Same thing with me. I don't expect it any other way. You know?
Yeah. So. Yeah, you take it as sort of just the nature of the beast. To be at a certain level, you have to perform at a certain level. And
constantly.
It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Right? You can't
for everything.
That's
Music,
how everything
jiu-jitsu,
works.
Everything.
Yeah.
Your job, you know. When I do IT contracts, I have to fucking concentrate on it. It sucks. I hate it, but I do it, and it's what makes me money when I'm not touring. You know,
right?
Playing shows, or putting out music or whatever.
It's amazing to me how many people are in bands today that are in a band, but then are a tech for this band, and then also work for this music. We had
Joey does it. Concepcion, he's a tech for Camelot,
right?
But he's in fucking 3-4 bands.
We had Ian Stair, who's like he does a lot of like synthesizer type music.
Oh yeah.
Really, really kind of cool stuff.
I remember you posted that, yeah.
But he's also he's been a factory rep. He's been, so they're just it's like they're gear guys.
Yeah.
They also happen to be musicians.
I've had friends, dude, that are fucking famous musicians that were paper boys. Their last jobs their fucking last job was a paper boy.
In their life.
His resume says paper boy, guitar player.
And that's it.
I got a motherfucker whose resume says pizza guy.
Yeah.
Guitar player.
Yeah.
In 1995, pizza guy, through now, guitar player.
Right.
That many years. Like, so that's all. If he loses the guitar playing, this motherfucker's going to have to make pizza.
Right. That's where he's at. He's back to flying pies. And
I didn't want to do that. So that's why I got an associate's degree.
Yeah.
Eventually. And
got to do the IT thing.
Yeah.
Too.
And then even with that, that's kind of irrelevant now. It's just a nice little thing to have, and you can get a little higher paying job because of it.
Yeah. And it's a lot cleaner than.
A little cleaner.
And
I get to play with, I can sit around and work on, band stuff too. I can listen to demos, and that also very much helps. You can play around with your social media sometimes too. Have time to do that.
Well, that's the point of the pizza job. Everybody goes, it's a pizza job. No, it's a job that facilitates the artist being able to do. It's a job for
fucking 16-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, which is cool. I mean, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you got to eventually move on from the pizza
musicians.
And musicians, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
16-year-olds and musicians.
Sure. I mean, it works for some people. You know what I mean? It's totally good. I love my favorite thing is pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, you need pizza guys. You know?
Funny. I know some people that are managers for pizza chains, and they make pretty damn
my
good money.
best friend is, he manages a pizza chain in Columbus. It's fucking
but it's still
shit.
Pizza, man. It's still working with the public and food and all that.
That's what he doesn't like about it.
Yeah. You can make money at it. It's just not fun. I like machines like you. Computers are great.
But that's the thing is, you're especially if you're 15 and you're a pizza guy and you have this musical dream. That's the thing is like you feel like you're stuck being a pizza guy, so you work really hard. It's a juxtaposition.
It's a way of contrasting things in your life.
Yeah, and my friend who was the paper boy, he did this in Finland, man. So imagine in the wintertime.
Oh my God, yeah.
Being the paper guy.
In Finland.
And having to fucking run up fucking flight of stairs and shit every other day to drop a goddamn paper off.
Yeah.
Before this dude wakes up in the morning, That sucks. That'll make your ass work. That'll make you, when you wake up in the morning after that, it'll make you play a little more.
I heard when was it The Dirt, when Motley Crue was talking about, maybe you're unfamiliar, but they wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for groupies feeding them and buying them clothes.
There's a lot of bands from that era that say
they didn't have jobs, right? They were just a train wreck. That's all they were.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, again, they needed to have a way to concentrate on these songs.
On just these songs,
that's
right.
It. So they needed someone else to bring the food. And but that happened all the time, man. Guns N' Roses did this too.
Is that right?
They did this too.
Sunset Strip era stuff, sure.
All these Sunset Strip guys did that shit. They all, just every girlfriend was a stripper and she brought home a lot of money, and you know, the strippers want to hang out with the rock stars.
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
That's why they would always fucking pay for everything.
So all the rock stars ate all the strippers' profits, basically.
Pretty much, but they got to hang out with the rock stars.
That's true.
And they got songs written about them and shit, so there's a payoff somewhere. And I'm sure that's what they wanted.
There have been books
written.
In
the wake of the Me Too movement. Don Dokken would tell us all what was up in the wake of the Me Too movement.
Is that right?
Yeah, when I saw Don Dokken at the Pickerington Fest, he was like, I think he was gonna play some song, and he was like, guys, in the wake of this whole Me Too movement, and I don't know what the fuck he said. You know why? Because this motherfucker started screaming. That's right. There is no more talking. It's over. There's no more meat. It's all over. That's it. So I don't know. He could have been. It could have been for the Me Too movement.
That's right.
He could have been like, you know what? We need to fucking listen to these
inspirational.
Women. I'll never know because I couldn't hear him over the PA because she was like, "That's right. That's it. It's over. Fucking over. There's no more talking. We're done."
We're not going to get the music that was born in the fertile grounds of strippers' G-strings ever
Winger,
again.
Dude,
right?
come on. She's only 17. He's only 17. Winger.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Can we do that today?
Phenomenal.
Cherry Pie.
Cherry Pie was a mistake. I actually don't like Cherry Pie.
He wasn't happy about that.
Well, I mean, he was forced to do it, but I mean, he did it. But I think Uncle Tom's Shack is still a better song.
Yeah, Uncle Tom's Cabin, right?
Yeah. I know it's Shack, dog. Or is it Cabin?
It's Cabin.
Fuck.
I think it's loosely based on the title of a famous book.
No, it is a book. It's a book. It's a book. I knew that. I forgot it was Shack or Cabin. I can remember.
Yeah, and that's about as deep into any literary knowledge I care to ever go without embarrassing the shit out of myself. I hear Moby Dick's a good book.
I like a lot of autobiographies and serial killer books. And stuff like that. Yeah, those are
serial killer books, huh?
Yeah, written by crime investigators and stuff. Actually, Philip Carlo is a very good one.
Yeah,
like he did like the Iceman, which some of that's bullshit in there, but he did one about the Night Stalker that was awesome.
Right,
about the guy from California. Very good book if you're ever interested in this.
Oh, the Night Stalker was a famous thing.
This guy interviewed him for fucking millennia to get this shit, and he did a good job.
Is this what that were out of that was? Is that the person who out of it was born? Sort of the way that they profile serial killers and stuff was.
No, I think
interviews?
that was. I think
maybe that was earlier.
No, that was. Malaka, what this fucking guy's name? Oh fuck. Yeah, the guy. Come on, man. The Ted Bundy. This is the one who I think was the biggest help in sort of creating he gave a lot of interviews and he talked a lot of shit, so they were able to figure out.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So they were able to figure out stuff through him a lot, how to catch them.
So a bit of appetite for the macabre in the sense that, so you like sort of the. I
like actually finding out how they catch him,
right?
How the detectives, because that's all in these books. It's not a good book if you don't have this,
right?
I mean, sure, they'll show you some gross crime scene stuff, but that's not the point to me. It's just how they do it. How they have to connect these dots. And that is the interesting part.
And how they get there to find
how
it out.
He fucks up and how they always fuck up. There's always a fuck up somehow. Either, and the ones that haven't been caught, they just died somehow. You know what I mean? They just didn't make it. They died some shitty, tragic death.
Or they killed themselves even in a fit of
very
despair.
Few do I think ever.
Hope.
I mean, I don't understand any that have this affliction that would stop completely.
If they weren't stopped.
And it would have to be a very rare, such an insanely rare case.
Yeah.
So that's my theory, because they all just keep going and just keep doing something. They keep fucking up.
Yeah, it's crazy how weird the human condition can get and how polluted and twisted it can get.
And these fucking books, man, make great songs too.
That's what I was so that was kind of my connection here is, do you think then that kind of interest and appetite for that kind of stuff pulls through and helps you as a songwriter and a lyricist?
Of course.
Yeah.
I like it, but I mean, not even stuff like that. I mean, if you listen to this stuff we did in Armageddon and Daughter Chaos and stuff that's been out, it's very space.
Love it.
We talk a lot about the cosmos and our own version of chaos in the cosmos.
Very epic.
Yeah, very epic stuff. And it's a story. More of a story based, like if you're reading a sci-fi novel kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I really like that kind of way. Or you have the way I wrote in my previous bands, like Slaves for Scores. I'd say I don't know how to consider it. I call it personal, just where you write from a personal perspective in things.
Right.
And maybe a title of a book or something in a book might
like trigger
trigger like some sort of line or some sort of title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
a feeling, emotion, a thought, a place.
Something.
Yeah.
But then it goes into your own kind of thought and place. And I think, the stuff in Crystal Tears and maybe the stuff in Night Rage I did, and, we talked about Slaves for Scores, if somebody fucking does ever research that. There's a lot of that was that way too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's the creative process and what triggers things and how that all pulls through is very interesting, because you can definitely see the history of artists like the Boss, Bruce Springsteen, and you can kind of see how his childhood pulls through into his lyrics choices and song choices and this kind of thing, right?
Sure.
So when you get into like a death metal band, it's not uncommon.
I would do a Bruce Springsteen cover. That'd be tight.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I can make it work.
Which one would you cover?
I don't fucking know.
Born to Run.
Born to Run, maybe. Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe you were born to run.
Could you do it like...
yeah, heavy.
There's probably somebody on YouTube that's already done it.
I'm sure.
Or TikTok.
Snapchat, TikTok.
Something like that.
What were you saying though? Sorry, I didn't mean to drop your thought.
No, I was saying that you can see, so with death metal groups and stuff like that, like it's like, where do these lyrics come from? I don't know. I see. I don't have a good
death metal group.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of controversy, but I think a lot of that is sort of just a lot of.
There's bands like Cannibal Corpse that that's their deal. They go with the, or Mortician, for instance, who are really good. They have very incredible lyrics. Just the most brutal. Absolutely.
It's like sadistic kind of.
Come on, they have Cannibal Corpse has a song called "I Come Blood," dude.
Okay, so yeah, land in that one, right?
We're going.
That's pretty dark shit.
We're going for it.
So,
but it's actually very tongue in cheek, because if you listen to the guys on the stage, or actually you know them in interviews, like the singer is huge into World of Warcraft.
Oh,
like,
okay.
He actually has a tattoo of World of Warcraft. Like,
right.
He's like a cool guy. He's not just a fucking weirdo. You know what I mean? He's not trying. You know what I mean?
So they sit around and
the guys in Obituary drink beer and watch the Dolphins games. Are from Florida, dude.
Is that right?
Yeah, dude. And that's what we talked about the whole time. And then we talked about martial arts and then we were kicking cans.
Contrary to their on-stage persona.
Sure, but that's
right.
That's the difference, is you have a life outside of this, and there's people who don't want that. They try to pretend that they're true and death metal to the end. They're fucking full of it. You listen to fucking ABBA, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you
right.
listen to some weird shit outside of this, and you do, and if you're trying to pretend to somebody, get out of my face.
It's like you're living a lie.
Living a lie, dude. I like some electronic music. I like rap. I like hip hop. I like all kinds of music. And that, I think also having that helps write new stuff.
Right.
Come up with new ideas and be, You don't want to just be stagnant and just listen. I love listening to Dissection. I listen to it fucking all the time.
Right.
And if you catch me in my car, it's probably what I'm listening to, or something.
But you said something here just a second ago. You said a lot of it's tongue in cheek. So it's kind of these cheeky guys.
Those guys, Dissection was not tongue in cheek.
No.
Some bands are.
Where they're just sitting around going, let's think up the most fucked up shit we can do and put it on stage and see what happens.
Yeah, there's plenty of bands like that too. That's like Mayhem. Like a lot of black metal bands do that. Mm-hmm. Like Mayhem has a nice song called Chainsaw Guts Fuck. There you go. That's a good song for you.
Yeah.
It's a song for the kids.
Play that on the way to school, huh?
But I mean, if you listen to them play it live, for instance, you'll hear some of the craziest drumming you've ever heard, and that none of you are gonna fucking play that shit. The drums, it's phenomenal. But the presence of the band, the topic of the lyrics, it's all extreme. It's all crazy shit.
But it's what it's supposed to be. And it's done that. But that's
a
point,
feeling you get. You know
right?
what I mean, if you listen to it, you probably wouldn't get this feeling. It's not gonna do it for you.
Well, I've also never been in a mosh pit. I've never attended a music festival. I've never been part of the energy that I noticed.
You went to a music festival, didn't you? I thought you told me you went to one, didn't you? It was a country music festival, something like that.
I've seen Garth Brooks. I've seen concerts. Yes, but I've never done the camp out. The closest I ever came was a Jimmy Buffett at Legend Valley. And what I mean,
so you mean just like a rock concert?
That's it.
Who gives a fuck? Right. But you've been to but still, you've seen it.
But I've seen
the same shit. It's just the metal crowd's dirtier, and they're the same shit.
See this mass of humanity sort of moving together, and all these people having what appears to be some sort of ritualistic Native American spiritual experience together. I've never had that, so I think I'm missing a piece here.
Oh man, you're somewhere. Not. You just need to feel the music, because then if you did, you'd go seek the concert. Yeah. You'd be like, I have to hear this live. But you don't feel it from the get-go, so you're not going to see it.
My buddy Mike Jones is like, dude, you got to go. He's always trying to.
That's not going to. Look, again, you've heard it. Dude, you've had me in here playing you shit. Yeah. It doesn't do it. It ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
So
it'll just be a live version of the same thing, right?
That's exactly it. But
the difference being.
Maybe like Rob Zombie or like fucking Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. I was actually pretty cool with Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because they got a great show. Listen, I don't like that shit.
Okay.
I don't listen to that shit. I just don't personally like it.
Okay.
But I know a good show when I fucking see one.
Right.
And these guys put on $1 million show with the props, and Rob Zombie's got bitches and shit in the background dancing and all kinds of crazy shit.
You get your money's worth.
Yeah, he's got projectors of his movies and screens and like crazy outtakes and all kinds of shit going on. My wife loves this band. I don't fucking like it. I liked White Zombie. My first concert was White Zombie and Pantera and Megadeth. So I like White Zombie. I thought they were cool.
Okay.
But I can't get into the whole fucking hey yeah fucking shit. I can't do it. But I can see how people like it because it's a crazy show and he's moving. There's a thing going on every 5 seconds.
A lot of energy.
That's why motherfuckers like Slipknot and they like fucking Guar and they like fucking Marilyn Manson because they got shit going on all the time. And
it's an experience.
So maybe one of those bands, Rammstein, that's a good experience. They have fireworks and the singer lights himself on fire and it's a whole thing. It's like a fucking play.
Oh yeah.
I don't like to do that. I could never be it. The closest I could be in a play is maybe be in a black metal band and wear some fucking.
Well, we ended up. What's the name?
Have to wear some corpse paint, but I don't even like that. I like to just not wear corpse paint and just be in a black metal band.
Those large set pieces and weird shit started all the way back, like in the days of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. These components started coming into it.
He wore like capes and he had like vampire teeth on the cover of Speak to the Devil and shit.
Like they jumped straight into that stuff because it freaked people out.
And then the fucking Scandinavian people took it to the extreme and they started chopping each other's heads off and shit.
For real, and burning shit down and it was like whoa, time out.
That's what I'm saying. There's some bands who take it pretty serious.
Way serious, yeah.
Fucking around, man. But for me, it's just I personally just I'm into all kinds of different stuff. Like my favorite type of music is heavy metal and traditional old school heavy metal and some power metal stuff as well. Like a lot of European power metal, like Halloween and Stratovarius. But I also listen to fucking At the Gates and Dissection, like I said, Emperor and like black metal bands and. So I like a little bit of everything, and that's my favorite kind of music is when it's together,
right? And
that's melodic death metal. So that's just where I kind of have sort of stuck to, and I don't know.
Well, your creative process works very well there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, and it's something that turns you on, which I think is kind of a prerequisite, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what everybody was always like, hey, man, you should fucking be in a band like Shinedown. I'm like, fuck you, man. Like,
because it doesn't turn you on.
I'm not into it. Like, I can't. There's people that I know that have tried that too. You know, they've tried to do this and it fails because they don't fucking feel it.
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's derivative. Yeah.
It's derivative. So when they start to play the music that they feel, they actually got fucking successful. And they dropped the other shit and they said, okay, it's not going to work. You can't just write a riff that sounds like this other band. You can't just do that. You gotta evolve a bit. You know what I mean? So
it can't all be clickbait.
It can't. Either. It can't.
It can't be all. It can't all be derived clickbait because it'll be great. It'll do. I shouldn't say great. It'll get a lot of attention for a very short period of time until people figure out it's just clickbait.
I'll tell you something that was clickbait. It was just something recently. There's a buddy of mine from Arizona, Steven, from this band called I Pariah. He posted this this article online of this band from Arizona whose guitar player actually fucking ripped off videos from YouTube. Like people that were posting songs on YouTube and then made them, like he just ripped off like literally like note for note the song and gave it to the singer and the singer wrote lyrics to it and then like they put it out.
Oh no.
Yeah, and this website, everybody found out about it and fucking, told on the guy and he gave up some bullshit excuse like, oh, I just had too many files. I didn't know what was what and I cover songs I didn't know.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he got sold out on it.
Well, the way you prevent that is don't sample that stuff down, but
it's not even that. The guy was looking at the song and he thought he could get away with it. You know what I mean?
Pull it off.
And that's crazy. That's fucking crazy shit. That means you just go do your own thing and just go. And don't worry about how many likes it gets and how many things it gets. Just do it and just put it out.
Keep doing it.
And just put it out and play and invest a little every time and move up in investing into your band and you will do something.
There's a monkey, or was it I said the other day, Devlin? There's a monkey for every banana kind of thing, right? So you just keep going and you slowly start accumulating your monkeys.
Yeah, it's like if your band's been around for fucking 15 years and you're still playing shows in front of one person,
something's up.
Time to hang it up.
Yeah, it's not resonating.
Time to go.
Yeah.
You can't, you got to do something different. Just think of something different.
How do you know, man? How do you know when, because that's a tenuous thing, isn't it?
Look in the fucking crowd and see that there's one motherfucker there and go, we have to stop. It's been 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years for sure, man.
I don't know, but
how could you still doing it? But
if you're a young band and you're like, in your 20s or whatever, mid 20s, and you're thinking maybe I should hang it up, you got to ask yourself, like, what is it about this that you like?
This is that weird dichotomy, especially in people that do things like what you guys do in the creative process, because you hear these sayings like, well, the way to winning is just never quit.
That's the truth. That's
all right. So, but
that's it.
But then there's should I quit the band that's been with for 10 years that's still playing to two people?
No,
and they're the same two people?
What are we doing? There has to be a reason that we're still with two people.
Right.
There could be a million reasons.
Sure, there could.
That's the problem, is figuring out the million reasons.
And that's the not quitting part. That's what you're talking about.
Or you can sit and go, okay, I'm in the same band for 15 years, okay, and it's with these three guys. And these three guys don't want to tour. They don't want to put money into it, let's say. Okay? So the fourth guy just says, okay, I'm going to leave. And I'm going to go join another band.
But that's going into, I'm going to go join another band.
Sure.
That isn't like I'm quitting and I'm going to go.
Or I'm quitting and I'm going to start my own band.
Right.
And I know now what not to do.
Yeah. And
I've had this experience and I can see now what not to do. And, but that's still, dude, I still make mistakes. Like I still join projects that don't go anywhere and stuff because I follow my heart musically. I don't do it just for the money. You know what I mean? Like Crystal Tears, to me in the beginning, when I first got hit up with it, I was a little apprehensive. I was like, I don't know, man. Like this is, but then I heard the songs. When he sent me the songs, I was like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah, I get this shit.
Now, I played you the first song and you were like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And I was like, oh, get ready, dude.
Yeah, because this is not a genre that I'm,
a genre. This is not a genre.
that I'm very well versed in, I know. And I was like, oh, this is different.
Yes, because they were that band that they were before.
Okay,
so they had these experiences. They had all this shit. They lost all these fucking members. And Chrisafis, the drummer. He's the drummer, is the main guy of the band. He's the
glue.
He's been doing it by himself. He's the only original member. So, and it's because he's not stopped. But he also knows, like, okay, I can't go back to just playing only in Greece. You know, we have to play in the Philippines. We have to play in Europe. We have to play in America. You know, that's where I'm working. I'm working to get us a show in America, which we'll eventually do. So there's one other announcement. I forgot that one.
Oh, yeah. So there's another news flash.
Yeah, but I've been saying this in interviews as well. Like, I said this in the Greek press, too. We're going to do some shows in America. At least one we're going to play in New York.
Okay.
We'll play a show in New York. So that'll be cool. That'll probably be after the new year again. Like probably around maybe March, April, maybe. Somewhere around there. Maybe. That's just a big maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, we have to talk about it. We have to finish. We're in the middle of now kind of still writing songs and rehearsing for this Filipino tour.
Yeah.
So, because this is our first tour with me, so it has to be really good. So we're working hard. It's 14 songs. So, and those are like only 2 of them I've written with the band.
Right.
So and then
a little learning curve here, right?
And there's some covers too that we're going to be performing. So for everybody, and some special songs that we have ready for the people there too.
When does this kick off?
It kicks off. Young sir.
Hey,
young sir.
Hey, Mr. Devlin. We might have to have you look something up.
You
for
just
us.
go onto the Crystal Tears Facebook. You can go there, and then it has the dates up there.
You can actually bring that up for us.
Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, we're kicking off. It's in the beginning of December, and then it goes till I think the 15th of December, and then I think that's it. We don't have anything else planned.
Like booked yet is what you're getting at.
No, yeah. Well,
there's more. There's going to be more coming.
We have to write the album, so that's the main focus.
You guys are.
Oh.
I like the story so far.
The story so far.
Stay tuned.
Oh yeah, just keep going down. Keep going. There you go. So the 6th. Yes, there you go. So the 6th in Isabella.
Oh, you gotta go. So you're gonna be busy, man. This is every day while you. So it's go over there, hit it, and
it's a normal tour. Yeah, okay. I mean,
no sightseeing.
The ones in America are longer. You know, those are even worse. Those are 25 days, usually 20 days,
like nonstop.
Yeah, this is like more like a European tour where we're doing like 11 shows, 10 shows, maybe 15. You know, you kind of because Europe, it's a lot easier to get to countries.
Sure, it's closer together too.
Closer together. You know, the Philippines is big too, so they have a lot of cities. So we're playing like 3 festivals. I know 3 of those shows are festivals, so that'd be cool.
Dude, I can't wait to see the pictures and shit.
Yeah, you'll see everything. Out. Yeah, it'll be
We'll share that stuff.
That's all we've been doing, man. Just working on that set list and just been hammering at it. And finally, last week, I got through all 14 songs without wanting to jump out the window.
Pull your hair out.
Yeah. So because I'm still kind of coming up with what those guys are going to do backing vocal style because that's the cool thing about also with Crystal Tears is Chrisafis sings clean as well and has on previous records. So I have some help with these nice.
Okay.
We're gonna do kind of like a Def Leppard,
gang voice kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
We're gonna all kind of sing me, Costas, Chrisafis, and then I think Alex, our bass player, he will help out a little bit with some gang shouts and stuff.
Okay.
Like so we have a few older songs we're playing from the first. We're actually playing some songs from the first album too. With the chick, and shit will not sound like the first album.
Oh, but not.
No, I was just telling people because there's fans of that there's people who.
Well, there's that comparison, isn't there?
Maybe I don't think that, dude. When we put out this song, you saw it. There was no.
I didn't see nothing.
Nobody gave a shit. Like they loved it. They thought it was a cool mix together for us to join forces, and people liked the song, which we just knew that they would because we just liked it so much.
The only place I see this really sort of weird brand loyalty anymore that used to exist with bands, and it was like, fucking you busted up, fucking David left the band, man. Now it sucked,
you mean like shit. Having favorite members,
yeah, and all of that. I think a lot of that stuff when the birth of the remixer sort of started to become a thing, where people were taking stuff and remixing it, and then people were it created this new level of I think a lot of that shit went away.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Well, in metal, it does and it doesn't. It just depends on the band. Again, I mean, dude, there's people who don't like fucking Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I know.
And think it's only Paul Di'Anno.
But they're old.
And I know people
and
who
they
like
got really
Bailey.
They got really yellow gray hair and they're dicks. Okay, and that's who those people are. But you know what I mean? But everybody else is okay.
And man, I don't know, dude. There's some people who I think just generally like that sound. Like they think Iron Maiden should have a punk singer.
Yeah.
And then there's people who like the operatic
Love
voice.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be somebody who's gonna hear like one of our videos and go, fuck, they fucked that song up. Because dude, we fuck some of these songs up. We've made these some heavy shit now, and it doesn't sound anything like.
Well, which version of Dio's best? Or that's Ronnie James Dio, or not Dio? I'm sorry.
Black Sabbath.
I was thinking of the other band that Dio sang.
Rainbow.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
there you go.
Which one's best? That's a
Which
stupid
version
question.
Of Deep Purple do you like? Coverdale? Do you like? You know what I mean?
Right.
I love Coverdale. There you go.
Yep.
I don't like the old. I don't like Smoke on the Water. Fuck that shit. Taste the Band, motherfucker. That's the album. Yeah, to me, that is Deep Purple too.
But they're all sort of relevant in their own absolute way. So it's kind of a weird.
I think it's just when you get into it.
Yeah.
I when I hear Smoke on the Water, I think of like the Beatles. I think it's just a little too old.
Little too old.
Little too
dated.
Old, dated.
Yeah.
And I get where it comes from. I understand what had to happen with that to get to where I need to be, of course. But to me, you know, David Coverdale sounds like a bad motherfucker, and that's what I want to hear.
He is a bad motherfucker too, as
like
a vocalist.
Whitesnake, all that stuff. Like that's kind of what I like to sing style. Like
he almost made what's his name, the lead singer for Def Leppard, Joel Elliott quit. Yeah, Joe Elliott.
Yeah.
It like fucked him up when he saw how he could do stuff, and it took him like 90 takes to do the same thing he could do in one take.
Pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. He's still got a good voice even now. It's not. You know, he's older now. This guy's like 70 years old.
Yeah,
but he's still fucking singing. You know, it's crazy.
Robert Plant still kills me, man.
Robert Plant was cool too. I saw this with him doing the Led Zeppelin
reunion thing that they did,
and man, that sounded good.
Oh my god,
sounded good.
Yeah,
but it's smart. I'm glad that they just did one.
Because
I don't think his voice would hang in there for 30 shows.
Yeah,
just wouldn't make it.
And don't stick around till it gets so bad that you're putting out bad performances because you're trying to meet a crazy schedule. Store it up and put it on stage really good. Record it one time and be done.
Yeah, that scares the shit out of me too, because I know one day that'll probably
it's coming.
Yeah, one day. But I see guys that are older than me.
Doing it,
and it do not take care of them fucking selves, and they're still doing it,
at a high level,
and they look like shit.
Yeah, I said gray, yellow, green.
Some of those guys, yeah, you're right, and I bet you those are probably the former singers fucking talking about it. Yeah, he's better. Fuck the old guy. Fuck the new guy.
I love these '80s bands now that are all going back out on tour, and they're all middle aged or older than me even.
I told you we went and saw Dokken, dude.
They got the big pudgy belly, but they're still trying to put the leather pants on and stuff.
Don Dokken is trying, man, still, and this motherfucker is gone. It is gone. The voice is gone, dude. The Volse water. The voice is fucking gone on this dude. But I still went. I still had to see it. I still wanted to hear the songs. Yeah. I still wanted to say.
Let's see the try.
Freddie Krueger, dude. I want to still fucking hear Dream Warriors, son. Come on.
Right. DreamWorks, or the Dream Warriors. Yeah. That was and it's funny because when you go see these guys now, the key just kind of keeps getting about a half a key lower every time they go on tour again.
Dude, Don Dokken is always like, we're the Dream. And the bass player is like, he's doing all the high parts, the bass player.
Yeah, but he's like 29 or something like that.
Yes, he's a younger guy, and the guitar player as well is younger. But still, like, you know, those bands playing, I love that. It's great. I love fucking watching Vince Neil videos, dude. I love watching Vince Neil
and wobble around out there
with this motherfucking stomach that's got to be from pills or something. Because when you take too many fucking
it looks like Las Vegas buffet to me is what that looks like.
It's probably a combination. Listen, dude, when you have a stomach that extends out like that, a lot of times it's probably because you're on antidepressants and you're fucking and you're drinking too.
I see what you're saying.
So you just got this fucking bowling ball motherfucker stuck in your stomach, and then he comes out, dude, and he's just still like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. Hey,
I watch every one of these.
Got the chicks
videos.
In the cages still.
I love it, dude. Cracks me up.
None of them would touch him anymore.
I love it.
He's out there running around.
That's what I do in my spare time: is watch these videos and laugh my fucking.
It's funny stuff, man.
But he's laughing on his way to the bank.
Yeah, who am I to say? I mean, he's made more money than
and he still is because he still plays in front of 3,000 people. And he's the only one playing those songs.
And you want to know, people are still showing up and buying the tickets.
Course,
So
I would.
I'm making.
If he comes to Columbus, I'll go. He'd get me and my best friend from high school, we go to this shit and we drag her to it and stuff. And we go and we fucking act stupid.
It's either going to be tragic or it's going to be funny, man. So it might as well be funny, you know, because to go out there and be all serious, like I'm still hardcore, this is LA strip kind of thing.
There's nobody
that would
doing
be
this.
tragic.
There's nobody doing
so
this. Really.
Just go out and have
Guns N'
fun
Roses,
with it.
because they're still big and they still kind of put on the attitude and they still come out with some cool clothes and shit.
Yeah.
So I still can watch them and go, okay, this is.
But I think that's the way like Slash dresses all the time anyway, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So these guys are living that, they live.
That's their life. Yeah, it's their lifestyle.
Yes.
They're not gonna put on anything different.
No.
Yeah, I saw that with the what's his name? The lead guitar player for Def Leppard is Phil Collin has like he's doing jujitsu or whatever.
Yeah, he's in great
he
shape.
Like boxes. He's got a personal trainer.
He's been like that since the beginning. Like he's one of the only guys that did that in the 80s.
That took care of him. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, look up videos of him in the 80s. He's fucking shredded. He's the only one who's got his shirt off.
He's always had his shirt off.
He's
when
shredded.
He's around on
stage. He's shredded, dude. That's why.
He's still getting it done, man.
I'll never do that. I don't get that. Like I mean, it's never been hot. It's never been that hot on stage where I've had to take my fucking shirt off.
So it's definitely a piece of showbiz, probably. Is what you're getting at. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, these motherfuckers can go on stage wearing like helmets and suits and costumes and do crazy stuff.
And those guys still get laid.
Yeah.
Think about that. Now listen, think about this. There's these guys that they go on stage and they put this helmet on at the Slipknot band, okay? And there's a chick down there and she's going to fuck him anyway.
She doesn't care, right?
It doesn't matter, boy. It's all you have to do is put this fucking guitar on this asshole and he'll fucking get it laid.
Yeah, and just stand.
It doesn't matter what he has. He has a wolf mask on. She's going to fuck it. Doesn't matter.
Does the music count?
No, it's just a guitar on stage. That's it. That's it. The music doesn't count. Listen to this shit. Have you heard Slipknot?
I don't think so.
Hey, go check it out.
It probably hasn't come across my radar. Does that mix well with Lynyrd Skynyrd and Led Zeppelin?
No.
Pink Floyd?
It does not. There's a lot of trash cans.
Ray Vaughan.
They hit trash cans and shit in their song.
Is that okay? So they're like that. I do like Blue Man Group. Is it kind of No.
Blue Man Group is still better.
Is that right?
They at least have some real talent.
Seen them twice.
Yeah.
So
that's better than seeing Slipknot. Good for you.
All right, man.
We hit the mark.
About a buck 30 is where we start with because of the YouTube format and stuff.
All you
is there
people,
anything else we got to talk about here?
Yeah, just go check out Crystal Tears on Spotify. We just released Ghost Dance. We're going to play it at the end, right? At the podcast.
Yeah, I'll put it in as the end music and we'll just let it go.
You guys can hear it if you want to listen to it
around.
again. Yeah, stick around. You can hear it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, all that good stuff. SoundCloud, I think we have it on there too. So yeah, come check out Crystal Tears and we'll be in some city near you at one point. If you're in the Philippines, come on out to the shows. Starts in December.
That'll be awesome.
We'll see you all there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to the feedback too. We get through social media.
Sure. I'm sure everybody will love it, dude. We talked some good shit. So.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Check us out at www.noshitcast.com. It's KNOWSHITCAST.com. Give us some likes and subscribes. We really appreciate that, and some shares would be great, and we'll catch you all next time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you coming in,
buddy.
Man.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, Siggles.